Hello, how are you, my brothers and sisters? My name is Nancy Muriithi. I'm saved and I love the Lord. This morning, allow me to encourage you with a word from the Lord. At this time, it is a time that we are at home with our families. It is an experience that we've never had before. We have never had a pandemic like this one, which has affected the globe, and we've never had such an experience before. And I felt that many of us are in uncertainties. We are living in fear of tomorrow. We don't know what is happening. We don't know when things are going to come back to normal. But I want to assure you this moment that God is forever faithful. God will never disappoint us. Our God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And those who believe in the Lord, they are going to have hope for tomorrow. I want to share with you a short message, and the message title is Focus on Jesus, and it is derived from Matthew chapter 14 from verse 22. It is a short story that we've learned, we have heard about it, we have read it before, and it is a story that encourages me every time that I read it. And it is a story of one day that Jesus had finished feeding the 5,000, and the Bible tells us that Jesus made the disciples to get into the boat while he sent the people away. Now, when he sent the people away, he went up to the hill to pray. And when he went up to the hill to pray, later in the night, when the disciples were still on the boat, there came a storm in the water. And the disciples were frightened because they didn't know how to rescue themselves from the boat. I can imagine being in the sea. It is at night, it is cold, and the storm comes. It can be a terrifying moment. And immediately we are told that when the disciples were in that state of worry, that state of despair, that they thought it was between them and death. It was a matter of life and death. That is when they looked up and saw somebody actually walking on water. At first, they had not recognized who it was. In fact, they were more terrified and they thought it was a ghost. And it is then that Jesus appeared clearly to them and told them, "It is me, Jesus." That is the time Peter, one of the disciples, told Jesus that, "If you are the one, Master, would you order me to come over to where you are?" And we see that Peter, having faith in Jesus, having faith in the Lord, and he gets out of the boat and actually starts walking on water. Wow, this excites me a lot because I can imagine that the faith that was in Peter that time, and he was able to float on the water. What an amazing thing. But within no moment, he was like, he cannot believe it. And then he looked at the water, and then he noticed that he was walking on the water, and he saw that the water was in ranges. And that is the time he started sinking. Now, this is where I'm getting my message, my brothers and sisters. Focus on Jesus. When Peter's focus was on Jesus, he was actually able to walk on water. Immediately he shifted his focus and saw the water. There is no way you can see, you can notice without seeing. So he noticed the ranges of the water after looking at the water. So if he maintained his focus on Jesus, he would have actually continued walking on water. But here we see that within a minute he focuses on water. He changes, he shifts his focus and looks at the water. And that is the time he started sinking. My brothers, we are in a period of walking on water. We are facing hard times. We are facing uncertainties. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. We don't know when this COVID-19 phenomena will stay. We don't know for how long it will be here. We don't know how next month will be for us. We don't know how our children and when our children will complete their studies, will ever go to school. We don't know when our businesses are coming back to normal. We don't know how our jobs are going to be. Those who are working in private companies, we don't know for how long we are going to get our pay. For business people, some of us have closed their businesses. Some of us do not have food. Some of us are just staying at home. They don't know the way to go. But I want to say that we are like Peter trying to walk on water. My encouragement to you is that we should focus on Jesus. The moment we change our focus is the moment that we feel depressed, we feel discouraged, we feel hopeless because we have changed our focus. But the moment we maintain our focus on Jesus, Jesus is going to give us hope for tomorrow. Jesus is going to give us food on the table. Jesus is going to give us hope for next year. There is life after COVID-19. COVID-19 will go. Maybe another thing will come. But our focus is on Jesus. The moment we focus on Jesus, He shall rescue us just as the way He rescued the disciples. Now, I have derived 4 points from this sermon. And the first point is that God allows us to go through trials. There is no trial that will come to you, my brother, without God allowing it to. So God knows that we are going to have this. He knew. He may not actually have caused the pandemic, but He allowed it to happen. Why? It's for His own glory and for His own purpose. He is testing our faith. How much faith do we have? Remember when Peter was put back onto the boat, Jesus asked him, "Where is your faith? Why do you have little faith?" Today God is asking us, where is your faith? The second point, my brothers and sisters, is God does not leave us at any one time. Remember when Jesus told the disciples to go, He knew that He was with them. He knew that He was going to rescue them. He knew what was coming their way, and He knew that He is going to appear to them. So God does not leave us at any one time. If we believe in Him, if we focus on Him, He shall never leave us. The other point is that we need to pray always. Now remember, Jesus went up to the mountain to pray, and He always did. If Jesus was the Son of God and He always had time to pray, who are we? We are supposed to do exactly what Jesus taught us. Every day, every moment, we are supposed to pray, because that is where Jesus derived His power. That is where He derived His encouragement. That is where He derived His empowerment to move on. The life was not very easy for Him. It was challenging, just as it is challenging for us today. So the moment we continue praying every day, God empowers us. He gives us power. He gives us faith to be able to move on. So my brothers and sisters, let us always look for time to pray. Let us do what Jesus taught us. And finally, we need to focus on Jesus. Let us not focus on what is happening around us. Let us not focus on what we don't have. Let us focus on Jesus. And when we focus on Jesus, Jesus is going to rescue us the way He rescued his disciples. Thank you very much, my brothers and sisters. I am so excited to share with you that short word, and I believe it is going to encourage somebody. God bless you, and keep praying for one another.